Hey guys, I'm Kimberly from Fat Quarter Shop FlossTube, and it is almost April, guys. We're just a couple of days away from April, so I don't know where the year has gone. At this point in the year, what I'm trying to do with my projects is really kind of wrap up, get them really nice, and a lot of things done so that when I go into FQS Stitch Mania, I have a lot of things done. So this week we're going to kind of focus on some things that are coming out April 1st, so you have two things to look forward to. But I also want to just show kind of my progress, where I'm at on things, and just kind of show some stitching. And lots of new sew-alongs planned. We'll talk about that at the end. And we'll talk a little bit about Heartfelt, also our charity fundraiser. So I'm going to start with our Barn Sweet Barn. And this started in January. And you can buy this barn from us. You just need to paint it. And I loved the star in the center of flea market baskets so much that I thought it would look great on 10 count. So we have this one is option 1. This is 10 count buttermilk fabric. And on the backer that we're putting on sticky board, we're using B cross stitch fabric. And so this is March, and I'm doing mine a little bit differently. I'm putting mine on a Target dollar spot house, and I'm leaving the same at the top every month just so it's evergreen, but I'm making 12 different ones, and mine is on Daisy. We did sell out of Daisy 10 count, but more should be in stock on April 1st, which is just Thursday or 2 days from now. Maybe, I think it might be in stock tomorrow, March 31st. But what I wanted to show you is mine is all glued down, hot glued down, because I wanted 12 different ones. But if you want, you can do the Priscilla and Chelsea method where you put up magnets and you switch out the bow and you switch out your piece, and then you just have to buy one barn. And I wanted to let you know that April is coming out on Friday. So if you go to our blog on Friday, the same blog, we just update the colors for the month. So these April colors will be released on April 1st. And just in case you want to see, this is January and February, and then there's your April. And I'll finish, I just have to finish my house. Mine's not like fully finished yet. Well, first I have to stitch it. Let's see. So here are my little houses, and I did get some questions on how am I going to display my houses. And the reason I'm doing them individually is I don't want to do the magnets because I will lose them. I am like notorious for losing things, so I need it in a full piece so I'm less likely to use it. But I'm going to put these on easels around Fat Quarter Shop. I'll probably keep some at home, some here. And they're just a great decoration piece, and since they're from Target, they're really inexpensive. The only thing was we had to go to several Targets to be able to get 12 houses. So that was really the only thing. So I hope that you stitch along with March and April. It's our Barn Sweet Barn Along using Lori Holt's Flea Market Basket pattern. And I just wanted to say that's a great way to reuse a pattern that you're already using for a completely different look. So just because you see a pattern that's one way, you can totally make it your own. And you'll see that all 4 of these fabrics are from Be Cross Stitch by Lori Holt. So that's my first thing. So make sure you go to our blog on April 1st. And if you just tag or favorite that blog post on Barn Sweet Barn on the 1st of each month, it will be updated with that month's colors. And then I'll show you my April at the end of April, once I get it stitched and mounted. So if you have any questions on Barn Sweet Barn, just pop them in. The next thing I worked on is so fun. This is Quilt-O-Graphy. It's a Fat Quarter Shop exclusive. We'll zoom in a little bit. And on this one, we stitched the model on white fabric, but I stitched mine on Opalescent by Zweigart, white Opalescent, and it's a lot of fun. I really love making this one, and I stitched this during 3 basketball games on Sunday. And I got, for the 3 games, I got all of this done in 3 games. My son, and he kind of sits on the bench a lot. So there's just like a lot of players, and so I have a ton of time to stitch, but he doesn't care if I stitch when he's not playing. So I'm going to pop up the breakdown of the months or the weeks, and you'll see that I got a little bit ahead. And so on week 4 this week, all I have to do is stitch 2 things. All I have left is right here, Quiltaholic and the iron. And then I'll probably go ahead and cheat and do a little bit of row 5. So I'm almost done. And then I did make a decision on finishing this. So we have Stitchography, which I've already framed. And then we have my small Quilter's Gonna Stitch. What is it? It's like a little bonus chart, and we haven't finished that yet. So I'm going to take the first one that I framed, which was Stitchography, this one, and then my little bonus to the framer, and then make sure their frames kind of can go together so I can put all 3 together on one place in my wall. So that'll be a lot of fun. And this is a PDF that you can get at Fat Quarter Shop, and it's just a ton of fun and really easy, and it really shows. I mean, I love working with the white Ada because I can see it so well. It's so fun. So that is something else I worked on this weekend. The next thing I got to work on is Fall on the Farm. So I skipped a week because I didn't have a pattern for that week. So this week, now I'm caught up. Well, almost caught up. So I have changed the borders here on accident because I made a mistake, but I actually really like how they came out. And for the 2 weeks, I just did the little girl with the rose, with the apple, and then the ladder and the truck. And then this week, I'll probably get the tree done. And this is the project that I'm working on 2 hours a week. So whatever I get done is what I get done for that week. But I'm hoping today to go ahead and get my 2 hours in, and I'll probably get the tree done. It's a little apple tree. And we had received some questions on my border colors. And I just looked at the border colors Diane did on Instagram and her website. And these 4 right here, 1, 3, 7, 9 are brandied pairs. The other 4 outsides that are 2, 4, 6, and 8 are wagon wheel. And then the center is chili pepper. But if you're using her pattern, it is, I'm gonna look. I changed my color away from chili pepper. It would be just rust. So this is supposed to be just rust, but I am using chili pepper instead. And I think kind of thinking about, how I think about things and try to plan everything, I think that I could have probably done this 1 hour a week so that I could have stretched the project just a little bit further into the year. So next year I might do a 1 hour a week thing instead of 2 hours, just because I feel like I got a little too much done in 2 hours, if that makes sense. But I was, this one will definitely be done. As soon as that last pattern comes out, I'll be ready to go. And I think on this one, I'm really excited about this one because I want to do, when I frame it, I want to do a really thick frame with like kind of unfinished wood that's not gray but not brown. I have a whole idea of what I'm going to finish it in, so I'm kind of excited because sometimes when I go to the framer I totally freeze and don't know what to do, but I've seen a frame there that I really like, so I'm hoping that they still have it when I go back. And I'm stitching mine on 16 count Beautiful Beige by Witchell. and this is the most recent pattern that has come out, which is called Pick Your Own, and it's a 9-part series. So that is Fall on the Farm. The next item I've been working on all year is Glitter Village. And I have gotten to where I don't have to use the hoop that I was using. Sometimes I do, but I can do the straight lines across without the hoop, or the roof without the hoop. But if I'm doing the tree, I still need the hoop. And this is the Morgan 5-inch hoop. So I'm getting a little bit better at stitching in hand, so I can go a little bit faster. It took me a little over 10 hours. And this one, I had a lot to be left to be desired. So basically this weekend I was in a hotel, and it was a really dark hotel room, and I had my halo go, but it was such a dark hotel room that I could hardly see the pattern. So I stitched the whole house in blue beadboard. So I had to unpick the house and re-stitch it. So that put me back a little bit. And then when I was reading the instructions on these, can we zoom in a little bit? These little straight stitches right here that are off the tree, I noticed it said 1 strand, so you can kind of see the little stitches. It said 1 strand. And I was like, oh. And then I looked over at my white stitches, and I was like, oh, I did those in 2 strands. So I had to pull all of the stitches out here and redo it. So this one, I just really have not gotten the hang of linen yet. I mean, it's going to be beautiful when it's done. And I did change the metallic braid to tea and biscuits. So this is my finish for March. And then April, I will go ahead and start right here. And I'm leaving any type of back stitches off until the very end, because I think there's some back stitch or some French knots that probably go on the snowman. And so for April, at the end of April next month, I'll show you this one. But I will say the one thing that's, I guess I'm struggling with is I kind of put this one and the next one I show you, I just put it aside until the very last minute to stitch it, because it's just so difficult for me to stitch. And I don't like to be like that, where I'm like being such a procrastinator, but I will get it done. I committed, so I'm gonna finish. So that is Glitter Village by Country Cottage Needleworks. Also by Country Cottage Needleworks is their new series, Nutcracker Village. So on this one, this is part 1. And then instead of going to part 2, which is over here, I did part 3 first. And by April, I was supposed to have this done, which it's not. So at the end of April, I will have this done and this done. Now, for both of these projects for Mania, I'm probably not going to stitch on them during May, just because I don't think realistically I can get this done and Mania. Now, if I can, that's great, and I'll be happy to do it. I'm just really struggling to stitch. This took me like 2 hours. It's just taking me forever, and I struggle with it. So I'm going to get done. I'm going to power through, but I'm not enjoying working with linen anymore now. Carol asked. I think I'm struggling with it more and more, and it's going to be beautiful, and I'm really happy that I'm doing it. I think that maybe I should have done 1 on the linen and then 1 on Ada, and it wouldn't have been so stressful for me. I'm kind of also, just by nature of my personality, I really like things consistent. I'm a creature of habit. I don't like change at all. I really like things to stay consistent. So I think that's part of my personality, and going from Ada to linen is such a drastic piece that it's just really hard for me. So that is Nutcracker Village. And I'm not changing any of the colors on this one. Now you're gonna see that I didn't complete all of Nutcracker Village, but I got ahead on this. And the reason I got ahead is because it's Ada and I love working on it. So this is Calendar Crates April, and my goal was, by Stitching with the Housewives, my goal was to have April done in April. Well, it's only March, and I'm already doing April, and that's because I enjoy doing this much more than the linen. So when I need a break from linen, I can only go like 2 hours on linen, and then I just have to stop. Like I can't, like I could stitch this 8 hours straight. I cannot do that on linen. So I went ahead and finished the small, and then I'm starting the bottom, and my goal is I'm going to try by next week to have more carrots done, and then the top, the house, the quilt, the carrot, and then the truck with the sign. So this is, I'm going to try to have that part done. Should be pretty easy. Probably take me like 5 more hours, and then the week after I'll have the top done. And because I love working on Ada so much, and Mania is coming, and I like to put off working on linen, I went ahead and stitched May. So May is completely done. And what that does is it frees up more time for me in FQS Stitch Mania to not have to stitch this. And it is so awesome and so pretty. These are like perfect colors. So I'm going to send this one to Priscilla to finish. And then after I have April done, I will only have June left. And June hasn't been released yet. She did give a little sneak peek on Saturday's video, if you, her and Chelsea's video, if you want to go watch that. So I did get a lot done. I just kind of left a little bit to be desired for the linen. I did want to let you know that this week, when I was out of town, this pattern was released in my Easter bonnet. And I loved it so much. So I went ahead and kitted it up. So I'm hoping to have this done by next week. So really cute. And the colors are so awesome. That's going to look so good. So if you're ever looking for Easter colors, here you go. These are the colors you should use. It's called In My Easter Bunny. And I think it will take me maybe 4 hours at the most to do this. It's 4x4. So probably 4 hours. But I definitely will stitch the bunny first because she's so cute. So this is also on my list to get done this week. I'll probably just start it and stop. And then this weekend on Sunday I have 6 basketball games, so I'll have plenty of time to stitch. And then Cheryl has also been busy. We talked about in the live stream that she is stitching all of the Quaker patterns from the Heart, is the designer. And so we've shown in previous FlossTubes, but she has done January, February, and now March is done. And what she decided, she's going to make all 12 of them. She's stitching on 36 count cream and sugar linen by Fiber on a Whim. She's using the called for colors, and then she's going to wait until she has several of these done to decide how she's going to finish them. And then once she starts finishing, then we'll start showing you them. So that's what I've stitched this week. Now what I'm going to do is take questions. Any questions you have on any of the stitching, I would love to answer. Next week we will have a big showcase of all of the sampler of the months, all framed. So next week we do get to do a parade of those, which is really exciting. One of them is right behind me right there, but all 12 are now framed and back from the framer, so we have that scheduled for next week, which will be totally fun. But if you have any questions, pop them in. Somebody would like to know what Mania is. So in May, we host an event called FQS Stitch Mania, and I'm going to have a video on that, and it's going to talk about what I will be doing for Mania. So, and we will also cover it in the live stream, but I have 7 patterns picked, and I will be stitching a little bit of each pattern each day in May, and it's a way to get a lot done in May. So because I stitch really heavily in May, I need to kind of catch up in April, March, so that yeah, March, April, sorry, so that I have a lot of time in May to be able to accomplish my goals. Where do you get the magnets? We get them at Home Depot. How did you attach the wreath to the top of the barn or the house for Quilty Barn? Glue, hot glue gun. And that's how I prefer all my pieces. I just prefer to have just like one piece and just stick it down. Is there a difference between Classic Colorworks bamboo and grits? Yes, bamboo is whiter. Grits has a tiny tinge of yellow. And all the colors for the Barn Sweet Barn are still available. They live on that same blog post. So it'll say January, all the colors. February, all the colors. It's an image, and you can like click it and print it and make it really easy for yourself. Sampler of the month frames. We've ordered them. I have no idea if we'll ever get them. We did have an idea from a customer that since we're not able to get them, maybe create our own. So we're going to kind of look into maybe creating something with a local craftsman here, because I know you guys really want something. I mean, obviously it won't be similar, but it could be the right size. And the little wreaths that are on top of my barns, we got at Walmart. And there's like a little bin section of just little random stuff. Is there a good substitute for the even weave used in stitching with the housewives? So they use Monaco 28 count, and they use either the white or the black, or they take and dye the white a different color to come up with a different color. And they have a video on the Stitching with the Housewives YouTube channel on how they dye it and the color names of the dyes, the RIT dyes they use. But for me, on anything that's chalkboard black, I put that on, anything they use on black Monaco, I put on chalkboard black. There's also a black Ada, and there's also a black Linda cloth that's similar. It's slightly different count, but it's the closest that they have found. Now with the brand new month-to-month series, they're stitching that on white, and I'm going to be stitching mine on 14 count pale gray gingham by Fabric Flare. And I think it's going to look good. I'm so excited. Can't wait to start. So that also, just looking forward to the month-to-month club, also has me like, oh, I got to get all of my calendar crates done so that I'm ready to go the first day that the pattern comes out. The May calendar crate will be available as a PDF. They do that about 6 weeks after the original release, so probably soon. And they do announce that on their channel, so you can check out their channel. I don't know the exact date. Marcia asked if there is an alternate to 14 count that was in the Stitch Quarterly that's called Mushroom Lugana. And if you want to do Ada, you could do Beautiful Beige, Natural Light, or Cafe Mocha French Country French. But with Cafe Mocha Country French, the Ada is softer, so it's up to you if you want that soft or if you want to get more the crunchier fabric. Ola asks if I use parking techniques and how does it work. I see people put round advice and roll the threads on them, but I don't know how it works. Okay, so there's a great video by Jan Hicks on the parking technique, and her video is Jan Hicks Creates, and I watched it twice, and it is so over my head that I can't do it. I guess I can't grasp the concept, so I don't use parking techniques, but I'm sure Jan would, she answers all her comments. You could ask her. But parking, the technique is meant to, if you're using a lot of different colors, that you park it to the side, and then that way you don't have to cut it off and come back to it. But a lot of the projects I do are very beginner friendly, so there's not really a need for me to do that. And thank you to Valeria Bauer for the super chat this morning. Piggy says thank you. I noticed the plaid bunny on the shelf. Where did you find it? Hobby Lobby. Can I show the difference between linen and Lugana? Yes. I don't know if we have any in here. Let me think if we have any in here. I think we do. So this is a Lugana. We'll zoom in. This is 25 or 28 count. 28. Okay, so this is 28 count Lugana, which means, and it's even. A Lugana is always even, meaning the thickness and the width between the strands is even this way and this way, so that your stitches will look perfectly square. This is 28 count white linen. And you can see the threads are thinner and they're not even, and you'll see little nubbies. And that is what gives it the antique look. And that is why I'm having so much trouble with the linen that I'm using. Is not only is it this way, it also has metallic threads added in. And I pull my stitches out quite a lot because I never get it in the right X. I thought about, for fun, or to drive myself crazy, is to count how many times in one little section that I do, how many times I pull stitches out. And then I thought, no, I probably shouldn't do that. Monaco is stiff, and I've never used Monaco. Priscilla and Chelsea like it, and they do prefer to use stiff fabric. So I hope that answers your question on Lugana and linen. And now we're going to do a Stitch Quarterly reveal. And if you haven't received your package yet, or you don't want to see this, I would just maybe put me on mute for a little bit, because we're going to do a reveal and we don't want anyone to be upset. And this is our Stitch Quarterly for March 2022, and our Stitch Quarterly subscription. Each quarter we curate an exclusive collection of cross-stitch essentials built around a unique theme. This month our theme is tea time, and it's a mix of assorted cross-stitch supplies to get you in the mood to stitch. So now I'm going to show you all the things that came in your bag, and thank you so much to Priscilla Blaine for finishing this for us. This is her Priscilla's Pretty Plaids, and on the pattern we list exactly what Priscilla used to finish, if you want to finish like Priscilla. So your package comes in a cute little bag, and I love these bags. I'm definitely collecting them. And you get your pattern, and your pattern is full color. It's nice and big. And this one we listed DMC colors. You get a little snippet of what's inside so you can read about each item. And then this month we have a really cute needle minder. Matches the pattern, and we always put in a needle, and we put in a high quality needle. We don't put in a cheap needle. And then as a bonus this month we put in different lotions. We haven't done that before, and they came in different scents, so you might have got a different scent. We give you all the thread you need, which is DMC. And then this month I'm so excited that we were able to include the sweet snips, because those are a really high quality scissor. And then we put in mushroom Lugana as the fabric. So as you can see, you have everything to make the whole project. You have the fabric, the needle, the thread, the scissors to cut, and then if you want, you can use the needle minder and the lotion. But so these are kind of, lotion's definitely a bonus, but this is great value for your money. And since I love the bag so much, I thought that I would show you a little bag parade and show you how we've grown as a company on Stitch Quarterly. So the first year of Stitch Quarterly, they came in canvas bags. And these all coordinated with the project. So we have Homegrown, American Spirit, Hey Pumpkin, and Santa Baby. And those are cute. And we loved them, but we thought, you know what? Because every year we have a planning session to plan the next year. And each year we'll have slightly different things because we design them all at once as a year. And then we plan what's going to go in them each year. And so one of the things from last year is people wanted a little bit different than Ada. So we did put in the 28 count. So we still have these bags. And then in 2020, so these were 2020. These were 2021. And the only way to get these bags is to be in the club. We don't sell them after. So if there's any extras, they go to me. So, or they go in the kits that we sell, but we don't ever sell them individually. So this was from Fresh Cut. Hello Summer. So our bags got better. Autumn Spice. And you know, I'm not a green person, but I love this bag. And then Oh Dear. So if you're planning for Mania, you could use all these bags that you have. So I just wanted to kind of show you because I thought, you know, we've done a really good job. I'm really proud of the bags that we are doing. And this one is the first one for 2023. So I have lots of bags and they're like the perfect size for if you're going to a basketball game or dance competition or football or yeah, whatever I go to, because I can just put it in my bag. I can just throw it in my purse. And it's also nice because they do check my bag and it's see-through so they don't ever really like look in it. I wanted to remind you that this Friday, I thought I would show it a little bit early this time instead of after, is Heartfelt is our charity fundraiser. And we have raised almost $75,000. So we're so thankful to all of you. That money goes directly to Make-A-Wish. And I wanted to let you know we're at $75,000. This is how the design looks completed, and we're releasing all of it in sections. And you can see that on our blog, the different sections that we have laid out. Priscilla finished this, and all the information on her finishing is on our free pattern. This is a free pattern to go along with Make-A-Wish. It actually matches our quilt. This was the first release, the border, second release, and third release. And the reason I'm showing it early is it releases on the blog Friday. So I thought, well, I want y'all to be ready to go. So this is what's going to come out on Friday. So you can go to our blog Friday to get this. And you can either put your floss on your Heartfelt floss flowers and put them in your Heartfelt box. Or you can buy the Aurifil box, which looks like this, and they just came back in stock. They were out of stock for about a month, so it came back in stock. So I was so excited it came in before this. And in here, I just keep my Aurifil, and when I'm done, if I have extra, I just roll it back on here. So this is how I'm keeping my extra. I guess I could just leave it loose. And then I have some scissors, and I always have Wonder Clips with everything. And then what I do is I just pop that in this amazing bag. And we made this bag bigger. The reason why, it's too big for the cross stitch, technically. But the reason we did it is it fits the quilt blocks that we are offering for free on our quilting side. So if you haven't joined Heartfelt, it's not too late. I mean, this is very easy. I'm stitching this on the Fabric Flare Pale Gray Gingham, and this is what I'm going to be stitching the brand new A Month to Month on that Priscilla and Chelsea have coming out. I wanted to let you know from last week we had a really awesome trunk show. If you missed it, you definitely want to check out last week's live stream because it was awesome and it was so pretty. So I read all of your comments, and we are going to do a Houses on Peppermint Lane sew along. And what we're going to do is we're going to plan it for 2023, and I'm going to June 1st pick my threads, because I want to get through Mania, but I'm going to pick my threads. I'm going to change the thread colors, and we will have packs. You can either do individual, group, however you want to do it. I'm probably going to stitch all of mine separately and then either frame them separately or put them in a pillow. I haven't decided, but I'm going to do them separately, and there will be a thread pack for mine in case you want to stitch yours like mine. And then I wanted to let you know to come join me next Tuesday. This is how I know the top. We got a lot of questions on the plaid border. And this is flea market baskets. And how to do this efficiently. Or, you know, people had so many questions. I mean, I don't think I'd seen so many questions about an item in a while. They wanted to know how to tackle or how to stitch the plaid border. So you can see, like, right here is this. Well, what I'm going to do in Stitchy Talk next Tuesday, 9 a.m. Central Time, is I'm going to talk about how to attempt the outside border. And it'll just be like teaching about kind of how I stitch it. Now, just always remember, the way I stitch may not be the way you stitch, but I kind of think of things as how can I be the most efficient without messing up or making a mistake. And so that's what I'm going to be teaching you on Tuesday. So I hope you come and join me, and I'll just be stitching the outside border. And that will be great because if you haven't got your inside border all the way done, I'll give you my little tips. And now I'm going to show you our What's New section. So I showed you earlier in my Easter bonnet, because I'm going to stitch it and you'll see it next week. Today, Priscilla and Chelsea of Stitching with the Housewives released Egg Basket, and inside there's a bonus chart. And I thought it was a goat, so I had to ask Denise, and Denise said it's a cow. So I think Denise is right because it has spots, but there's a little cow on it. And I shouldn't have to admit that I don't know the animals. And then these came in. These are going to be so popular. I bet they sell out. This is an assortment of Easter/spring designs by Primrose Cottage Stitches. And they're on really nice paper, and the colors, the front is a color photo, and the back is a color chart, so you can follow it. It's easy to follow because it's in color. So we've got Home Tweet Home, Hippity Hop. I bet Cheryl stitches some of these. Happy Easter. On the Hunt. Mayflowers, and Easter Greetings. And just an FYI, I went to Cracker Barrel on Sunday, and they have the cutest Easter decorations, and Kevin was with me, and I was like, I so want to buy those 3 eggs, but Kevin's going to like say we don't need any more decorations, so I'm going to make a little quick sneaky trip over to get the 3 eggs that I saw at Cracker Barrel because they were so cute and they were a good price. And I was like, oh, I'll just come back and get them so I don't have to listen to him say, where are you going to put that? Because that's what he always says. Where are you going to put that? And then I say, Lori taught me that if it looks good, you'll find a place. And then he just kind of looks at me. This is the 5th in the Cottage Garden Samplings series, and this has been so popular. They've been selling, every one of them has sold out. So this is the ferret. And earlier, I showed you March Quaker. This is June Quaker. And when we were at Needlework Market, we noticed we didn't have this one as a kit. And this is one of the Bent Creek kits where it has the fabric, the floss, and the pattern. And so this is, it's not new, it's just new to Fat Quarter Shop. And then Annie's came out with a ornament book. And this has 40 ornaments. And I'm gonna let you kind of look, but this is a really cute sunflower, a little bunny. I think this is the cutest one. It's a fox. Some of these, when I was looking through it, they don't have to be ornaments. They can just be kind of standalone pieces. So that's the front. And then here's more, and there's 40 total. And they're just from various designers, lots of different designers. And then the best part of what's new is we're gonna pop up Wreath Swap 2. So Wreath Swap 2 is July through December of Stitching with the Housewives. And next week we're gonna have something really exciting to show you, because I'm gonna be doing a sew along with Home is Where the Wreath Is, the first pattern, Wreath Swap 2, and Wreath Swap 1. And we're pre-selling this now. It's going to ship in April. So if you're wanting this, the second it comes in, buy it from us. The same day it comes, we will ship it to you. And I'm so excited because this weekend I came up with my plan on Wreath Swap, and I hope all of you join me. Some of you are ahead of me, but definitely something fun to look forward to for next week. The next pattern that's pre-sold is Bumblebee In by Stitching with the Housewives, and this one's pre-sold. It will also ship at the same time, and it's cute. It says Bed and Breakfast established 2020. And then June calendar crates. So this is the last of calendar crates, and it will ship in May, and I am hoping that I get to stitch this in June so that I'm ready when the new month-to-month comes. So that's what I have for you guys today, but I'm happy to answer any questions you guys have. So on Peppermint Lane in June 2022, that means that's the day I'm picking to, in my office, pick my threads. The sew along will start January 1st, 2023, and thread packs probably won't be available until the fall because it will take a while to get all of those threads in stock. Sean says, oh my God, your OMG, your fabric is so nice and stiff. Mine is starting to look limp. How can it be freshened up? Well, I use Fabric Flare and Witchell, and they're stiff and they never get soft. So I don't know how you would stiffen it up. I wouldn't starch it, but when I you'll notice when I was folding all my stuff, I fold everything into a square and put it in my bag. That's just how I do it. So I don't know what else you could do, but I would say maybe starting with a stiffer brand. I don't ever stitch on the hand-dyed cloth. I am going to upcoming, maybe something. I have something else planned that might use hand-dyed, but I've never done that before. I thought I signed up for the Wreath Swap series. Do I have to reorder the new ones? Yes. So the Wreath Swap are individual patterns, 3 separate individual patterns. So you have to sign up to receive the next set. Someone is asking if I'm in a show in London. No, I am not. I don't vend shows. I have very busy children. I have a daughter who does competitive dance. I have 2 sons that are on 2 separate basketball teams. Not even 2 separate basketball teams, 2 different leagues. And then I have a son that does UIL, and then I have a son that also does football. And he thinks he's the best pass rusher of all time, and I think it's hilarious because I don't even understand. I am really proud of myself. I kind of understand basketball now. I'm getting so much better. I know what all the things are the referee does. So now I'm not clueless. But football, I'm okay. Well, I don't even know what's going on because it's just a bunch of little 10-year-olds running around. Will I sell more colors of 16 and 8 cloth? Yes, and we did place an order for some additional 16 and 18 count colors. They just have to come in. Jan says she's doing quiltography on gray gingham. How do you get so much stitching done and keep your quilting up as well? I work a lot. I'll give you an example. Friday night, picked Emma up from school, drove her to dance, checked in the hotel. She had a knee injury. She still has a knee injury. We're going to find out tomorrow the results of the MRI. She didn't dance all weekend. Guess what I did all weekend? I worked all weekend. And I got up at 6 a.m. So I worked all day Saturday, like 8 hours. And then I showed up at the dinner. And the moms were like, where have you been all day? And I was like, in my hotel room working. I just work a lot. I mean, I'm not going to go watch a dance that my kid's not in because I've already seen the dances at this point 5 times. I don't need to see the dance without my kid another time. I work all the time. Saturday, got up 6 a.m., packed everything myself because Emma was still asleep, got in my car, drove to basketball, had my cross stitch ready to go. And my kid played a lot in the first game and he played really bad. So the coach didn't let him play really in the second game I guess he didn't deserve to play, but then the third game he got to play. But any second I have when I'm a drop off, what do you call it? I don't care if it's 2 minutes, I'm stitching. I stitch all the time. I have no personal life. It's funny because Saturday I have something planned. I'm gonna go see John Edward the Psychic. I probably shouldn't say this on live stream, but I like that kind of stuff. And me and my best friend from high school are gonna go. And so I had to email Emma and tell her, like, hey, because her birthday party is Saturday night. She's like, how am I going to get to my birthday party? And I was like, oh my God, for one time I made plans for myself to do something for 2 hours for myself, and you're going to complain. I was like, you have a father. You'll somehow get to your birthday party. I mean, she's going to get to her birthday party fine. But I guess the answer to your question is I don't do a lot, anything personal. Like I work, I take care of my kids. And like last night, for example, I got home at 5 o'clock. My kids were not home. They were at music. One was at music, one was at football, and one was at basketball, and Emma was at dance. Nobody was home. Walked in. I made 4 Moda Blockhead blocks. When it was time to go get Emma, I left, went to get an iced tea, sat in the parking lot for 30 minutes, stitched, got Emma, came home, and then finished stitching for a cross stitch. So I'm either working or taking care of my kids because I'm an awesome mom. Okay, I'm kind of hyper today. I'm going to read all the comments now. And then, so basically throw your questions in. Once I answer all the questions, I'll be done. So let's see. How is Piggy? Oh my gosh, he's so good. He's so good. He's been just like going for a lot of walks, and he really has been kind of calming down and acting a lot better. So that's good. Kimberly, what is the best first time quilt that you have a tutorial to try? I want to learn. I love Layer Cake Lemonade because the pieces are big. That's what I would try. Is there a way to get the Fall on the Farm charts automatically sent when they come out? I know the club is full. No, no, you just have to buy them when they come in. I received my Witchell Club 14 count espresso. Can you suggest a pattern I could use with it? Oh my goodness. Email Cheryl, Cheryl at fatquartershop.com, and maybe tell her, like, what do you like? What designer is your favorite? And then she can recommend something. My Ada is stiff and hard to work with. How do you make it softer? I like it stiff. Let me see a piece, and I'm going to kind of talk through how I stitch in hand on stuff. Can I see the Witchell black too? So this is Fabric Flare. And I'm going to this is Fabric Flare. And this is Witchell. Now you can tell which one is stiffer because see how that it'll just stand up. This is softer. But when I stitch, well, I'm not going to do it here because I have the needle there. Well, I have the needle there too. I like it to be stiff because I guess that's just how my hand works. But I literally put these Wonder Clips and I just hold my hand where I can keep it and I just stitch. I prefer it to be stiff. So I don't know how to make it stiffer or softer. I would say just pick a brand that you like. For example, you'll notice that Cheryl always uses linen, or she always uses linen, or like hand dye, because she likes softer. So I think just find a brand you like and stick with it. For 14 count Aida, I would recommend using the Q-Snap. What color did I use for Fall on the Farm truck in pattern 4? So I have a video that I did in early January. It was our first Stitchy Talk of 2022. I'm trying to figure out what year we're in. And I talk about all my color changes there. I think they're also on a blog somewhere. And someone says that she sprays her linen. I don't know what that comment says. Sorry. Let's see. She just ordered some linen. Does it? Okay, so she's asking if linen compares to Lugana. So I showed you the layout. So it is different, but it's definitely doable. I want to give more thank yous from Piggy for my super chats. Janet Buster, she says thank you, Kimberly and FQS. Paula says I'm amazing, thank you. And then thank you to Christabel. Thank you so much for the super chats. Thank you so much for all the questions. We have a lot to look forward to next week. Definitely join me for Stitchy Talk on Tuesday. And on Wednesday, you're going to get to see all of my samplers from Country Cottage Needleworks, all framed. And I think you're going to love it. So join me then. Have a great week.